Hello, I'm Heather.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is the Politics Free Podcast,
where you can come for a short time each week to get away from the madness of the world,
while we carry on as though nothing important or noteworthy is happening.
So join us for some conversation,
some silliness,
and a game,
while we attempt to put you in a better mood by the end of the episode than you're in right now.
Welcome to our bubble.
Welcome to our bubble. Hey, Ryan, guess what?
What?
We have a guest today.
Really?
Yes. It's Eli James of Ghost Circus Apparel. Am I right to say you are the owner and founder of Ghost Circus Apparel?
Yes, this is true. The one and only.
Yes.
Yeah. You started your own business. It's going really well, right?
Yeah. It's luckily, it's gone. It's actually this month is our 6-year anniversary, which is crazy.
Wow.
And I guess, I didn't even think it would go one day, let alone 6 years. But yeah, it's 6 years as of March 1st, which is a couple nights ago.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't even realize it had been that long, man. Like, it just seems like I thought it was like maybe last year or the year before that you even started it. That's awesome, though.
Yeah, it's crazy. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
That's awesome. What inspired you to start an apparel business? How'd you get into it?
Well, I mean, it's interesting because I never thought I would. I mean, if you told me like, yo, sell some shirts, I would have no idea where to start. But basically, I through my life and all that fun stuff, I did a lot of touring as a musician on part of my life. And through that time, I altered my clothes all the time. And I decided to go, hey, why don't I just make something? Shit. So I started making myself some clothes and my own clothes. And then one thing led to the next. A whole bunch of friends were like, shit, dude, that's dope. That's dope. Shit. Where'd you get it? I was like, oh, I made it. And they're like, dang, can you make me something? And I was like, yeah, sure, man, no problem. And anyway, one thing led to the next, and I was like, this is kind of catching on pretty quick. So I took like $100, like probably the last $100 I had in my pocket, and I opened up a bank account under Ghost Circus Apparel, and here we are 6 years later.
Fantastic, dude. Man! That's so cool.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And now, for anyone listening, where can we buy stuff from you?
You can go to ghostcircusapparel.com. So it's like ghost as in I saw a ghost, and circus as my life's a circus, apparel.com. It's crazy because we actually had some radio ads, which is nuts in the first place, but trying to say Ghost Circus Apparel, you would think, wait, did he say goat? Or did he say circuit? Like, what did they say? So we had to do this whole cheesy cool thing. It's like, GHOST Circus Apparel.com, blah. And
So is that a ad only in LA, or do you have that in other areas of the country?
That was really focused in Cincinnati, Ohio, and other parts of Ohio. Yeah, because we had a really big surge. We have surges like, they kind of pop up. Like right now it's Texas. And Massachusetts is a big one, Los Angeles, of course, and but they'll change. It'll be like all of a sudden it's Denver and Chicago and Florida. So we at the time was North Carolina, Arizona, and Ohio, and we decided to do a test run through iHeartRadio and a whole bunch of platforms out there. Yeah, so it was kind of interesting. It was pretty cool to be involved with iHeartRadio and getting the word out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I remember when those ads started, or those posts started going up on Facebook. They were just like going like hotcakes, and yeah, dude, that's awesome.
That really is so cool.
I actually got a sewing machine because at work we started wearing at this job site we're at. We used to do like the Hawaiian shirt Fridays.
Okay.
And so I wanted my own shirts. Like I went online and I was looking for different shirts that weren't Hawaiian style, but like just funny button-up shirts. And so I found one with dinosaurs on it. So I bought the dinosaurs shirt and I started wearing that on Fridays, and everybody loved it. So I was like, man, it'd be so like I couldn't find anything that was like cool with like just weird designs on it. So I actually went and got a sewing machine because like I started seeing you. I was like, well, if Eli can sew things, I can too. So
Yeah.
I like got a sewing machine. And yeah, I can't sew. It's not easy. Like I tried to figure it out and I could not do it.
And now it's time for a brief editorial interruption. You're going to hear us referring to somebody named Earl. Long story short, we're talking about Ryan. And now, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Well, knowing Earl, I wouldn't be surprised if you got your finger stuck right in the middle of that that needle.
You know, I managed not to hurt myself. That is
Okay.
Hey,
that is definitely a me thing to do.
That's me clapping for Ryan. There we go.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because Go Circus actually expanded into another kind of it's technically it's its own company, but it's a part of a division called Go Circus Merch, and we do a whole bunch of wholesale stuff. So we literally what's called white labeling is we white label for a whole bunch of brands, but I usually design and manufacture for a bunch of companies. And
yeah.
What I was actually saying based off that is we're talking about needles going through fingers.
Oh, yes.
And we invested into an embroidery department. And so what that is like hats and beanies and stuff. You know, there's embroidery on those. And sometimes it's like 3D puff and it's cool and whatever. But the machines that do that, we invested in like 3 years ago or something like that. So those needles go so fast and they don't care. There's no stop to it. It doesn't matter. Literally, dude. Yeah. If you were near it, I would say step back about 15 feet, Earl. Thank you. Because I knowing Earl, he would be in and up and around everything in there.
People are going to be very confused by the Earl. I'm going to leave it in, though.
Makes me feel good.
I was curious how you came up with the name Ghost Circus Apparel.
Well, when I was a kid, I was fascinated and really into ghosts and other energy sources and stuff, which is actually kind of crazy as a kid. And I've had plenty of fun experiences.
Sure.
So I was really into ghosts, and my life at the time literally was a circus. Like I was a touring musician, so of course I wasn't just the touring musician playing in front of one person or people to tens of thousands of people every other show. But when I'm done playing those shows in other countries and stuff, I fly back home and I'd be washing windows the next day to make rent. You know, so it's wow. It literally a juggle of like 7 different jobs as I was a touring and quote unquote successful musician. And my life was a circus. So I was like, when the opportunity came up, I was like, man, I love ghosts and, you know, my life's a circus. So Ghost Circus, and I wanted it cool. So instead of it two words, it's coined into one.
Okay, so, nice.
Yeah, I think if you like Google Ghost Circus as 2 words, it'll say, do you mean Ghost Circus is 1 word or something like that?
Nice.
He's like, let me try.
Yeah, no, I was about to. So, hey, just out of curiosity, are you still doing like the Eli James experience, or are you just like focused solely on Ghost Circus now?
Also, what is the Eli James experience?
The Eli James experience was a solo show. It's where a drummer, DJ, and I had a lit up drum kit, and I had trigger lights, like a strobe lights and stuff I triggered with my feet, and I DJ'd live, and I did some singing, which probably sounded like a cat getting stepped on. I did a whole bunch of stuff, but yeah, the Eli James experience was just this insane DJ live drummer kind of show, like entertainment show. And I toured the US 5 times with that. And I did everything myself. Yeah. Like even from the show, like I got to program everything, lights, the setup, all that, the booking everything, promoting everything, getting all the merchandise ready, marketing everything, getting funds to get to the first place and go to the second place, all that stuff, radio shows, everything. I did everything myself. And I mean, I do have to say there was a tremendous amount of help with friends and family and people that became really good friends and family through that time. And Ryan's definitely one of them. Earl. Yeah. So it's like, there's a lot of people that help. So don't get me wrong, but literally if you want to go do something, you better get up and do it, and that's what it's all about. And so I did the 5 US tours. I took it to Australia by myself on like everything on my back. I did a tour there. And then by that time I started getting into like other bands, I was getting more recognized as this drummer, kind of like Animal from Muppet Babies. And so, and so that I joined a couple other bands and toured with them, and very grateful and lucky to be a part of that. But yeah, I was a DJ drummer show. But that's one question. And the other answer is I would love to, but I just don't have time. I haven't played the drums for like 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
no kidding.
I toured a lot. I think my last tour was with Tim Skold. He was with Manson for like 10 years. And I think that was the last tour that I did. But the business, honestly, is like, I mean, you struggle as a musician and really an artist. And you're like, I go for it for so long. And it's really hard to make money out there, especially as a musician, unless you're in a really well-known band or you get lucky, and you can't like pay a mortgage and be confident that you're going to continue to pay that mortgage. And Ghost Circus kind of like took off like immediately, like within 3 months, it was like, nice. Dang, like making stuff for Ellen DeGeneres and then all the, like some Manson Camp and, Sum 41 and Cruella and all these other people. I'm like, dang, okay. And it just started picking up, and then I started designing for other companies, and that's when the expansion happened from Ghost Circus apparel, like custom, to Ghost Circus merch, where we actually help other brands build from the ground up, or from like if you're a multi-million-dollar company, we got the companies like being able to sell at one level, and because I'm a celebrity fashion designer, I bring that to the table, and they are able to increase their sales and their price margin. So it brings everything up. So then we'll be able to like sustain, and not get undercut. Cause it's really hard as a brand, or especially in America, without getting things overseas all that much. So yeah, it's crazy. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, it totally did. That's so rad.
Dude, it's super awesome. I love seeing all your posts. I really do. It's just so cool to see how far you've come with that. And I'm impressed every day, dude. For real. Like,
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
It surprised me to find out that even though you did you toured all over the world as a drummer in many different bands, right? And to find that it's so hard to sustain an income doing that. I would have thought like, oh, he's a millionaire rock star. Of course he started a clothing apparel company,
Yeah. And then you see my Honda Civic in the back.
What are you driving these days, Eli?
Well, actually, I really loved like not old school, like classic trucks, but old school cars, like what I grew up with. So I got myself a 92 Toyota pickup.
Really?
Yeah. So that's awesome to zip around in, but I'm waiting honestly on my new Tesla, which is going to be awesome.
I got an EV. I just got an EV, actually. Yeah. My car got totaled because I got rear-ended on the freeway because, it's me.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because while I was driving home from work, I was sitting there thinking about like, boy, I can't wait till we've got Rebecca's car paid off. Then I can buy my Volt. And then bam, just like hit from behind. And I got my Volt. So
oh no. Hey, you couldn't wait, apparently. That's true.
Kidding.
Instant gratification. There you
Yeah,
go.
so I'm patiently waiting because I don't know if you guys if you know it or not, but when you buy a Tesla, apparently it has to be like made. So when you
Oh,
buy it, so you order it, and then within the quarter of the year they produce it and then deliver it. So I'm waiting on it. I've been waiting patiently for the last 2.5 months.
Wow. I think that's when we'll know that we have a successful podcast, when we're waiting for our Teslas. That'll be like, we made it. We made it.
Yeah. Yeah. One of these days, I mean, one of these days you guys are going to be extremely successful with it.
oh yeah.
If super awesome, successful people like you keep agreeing to come on our dinky little podcast, it's going to be great. I mean, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank
Of
you so
course.
much. Guys, I thought, so
Yes.
typically we move on to like a topic of the week and then we do a game. But the game that I
Okay.
have, I think could end up being quite conversational. So I figured we'd skip to the game and we'd skip topic of the week this week.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you the game. It's called Do You Know Me?
Okay. No. Yes. No. Who is this?
I don't know. We're going to find out. That's the beauty of the game.
Okay. Cool.
So here's what we do. I select 5 cards at random from this massive pile of cards that comes with this game. And
Okay.
it'll have like something on it like, does blank whoever the victim is pee in the shower? And then the other 2 people have to guess if blank pees in the shower or not. And we do that for 5 cards.
Who is blank someone that we know or someone we don't know?
It'll be one of us.
Oh, perfect.
Eli,
Yes, I do.
you do, everybody does. Don't worry about it. As our guest, you get to pick the first victim of this game.
We have Earl. Yeah, let's just do Earl. What's up?
Good. So here we go, Earl.
All right.
First, Eli and I will judge you as to whether this is something that applies to you or not, and then you can tell us if we're right or wrong.
Okay.
We're the judges, but we're not like judging you personally. Okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
I am.
She
Big
is.
sister rights. Okay. Has Ryan/Earl ever done an escape room?
Yes.
You think he has? I don't think he has.
Guess what? I have done an escape room.
Wait, do I get a prize?
You get a point.
Yeah, I actually set up going to an escape room for my buddy's bachelor party a couple years ago.
Okay.
And I actually have 2 tickets to go again that I have not used in 2 years. So I'm hoping they're still good. But I really wanted to take Rebecca to an escape room because this place was actually super awesome. It was so much fun. And like we got through it on accident. Like we were not finding the clues. We were solving the puzzles without like,
oh boy.
Like there was so you go into this escape room and it's the DB Cooper escape room, right? So you have to find the treasure. So you go in this room and there's a bomb that's about to explode and you have to solve all these puzzles to disarm the bomb. That's the objective of the room. Well, at the very beginning of the game, our buddy's over there fiddling with the combos on it and he pops it open.
Oh no.
And so he's like, "Oh, I found the bomb." And so we're going through and then we start finding clues for opening the case. We're like, "Well, this doesn't apply to us anymore. We've already opened the case." We open up a second room. It's like a secret room behind a fireplace. We're like, oh shit. So we go in there, we're fucking around. And then we come out, we're not finding any clues. And it's like, I have another buddy that's sitting there looking at the briefcase and he's just like, boop, 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 and disarms the bomb.
Oh my God.
And so like the host of the game radios us. He's like, hey, this is so-and-so, cause he's playing a part as an FBI agent.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, this is so-and-so. That's great that you guys disarmed the bomb, but I'm not going to be up the mountain for another 40 minutes if you want to try to figure out the rest of the stuff in that room.
Come up with a better code on your bomb.
Yeah, 0000.
To be fair, the code was DB in the year that he had jumped out of the plane and disappeared. And that's just like my buddy was like, DB, whatever, just happened to know the date. And
The closest thing I've ever come to is like one of those Eddie May murder mystery dinners.
Okay.
oh, I want
Those
to
are
do one
fun.
of those.
Those are fun.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've done one of those.
Oh, they're pretty neat. Like all these actors come and they die in front of you, murdered, and you're like eating your steak, your filet mignon. Like, I wonder who the murderer is, and you get to figure it out.
That's cool.
All right, are we ready for the second card? Okay, has Ryan ever binged an entire TV series in a day? I think yes. Although, when would you have had the time? No, I guess not.
No, yeah. The thing is, I think because a TV show, some of them have 2 seasons, and then he has to wait. And he's like, oh shit. But some of them, if you didn't see it, like Game of Thrones from the very beginning to the end or whatever, then that's hard. But I'm gonna say yeah.
I will say that I've never binged an entire season in a day.
Never?
I've binged an entire season in like a week. No, there's no way I could do it in a day.
I was going to say, well, also because streaming like that didn't really come out until after kids.
It's funny because before Netflix was a streaming service, I used to get the DVDs, and I actually just started renting all the show 24.
Uh-huh.
That's all I did was rent those DVDs. And so like it was one right after the next, and I'd just sit there watching it at night, and it actually drove Rebecca crazy. Like by the end of like the first season, she's like, you're not renting any more 24. So you're still winning, Eli.
Okay, cool.
Rooting for you.
I might have an unfair advantage on the next question.
Uh-oh.
Which just gave away the answer. It's fine. Was Ryan ever suspended from school?
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
Yes, I have.
That's it.
Was that when you tried to light the forest on fire? Was it that time?
No,
they didn't try to suspend you for that.
No, that was for cheating.
Oh,
I cheated
okay.
on the reading program. I didn't actually read any of the books. I would just read bits and parts and then write my book reports based on what I wrote. And I got away with it for years.
I mean, I know this about Ryan. He does not like reading, which is so the opposite of me. I love reading.
I don't like to read. Would be a good question. Eli likes to read. No, I do not.
Do you like to listen to audiobooks?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, for maybe a hot second, it's fine. I don't jump into that much. But,
okay.
I'm not really. I'm book smart to a degree, but I'm not book smart per se. I'm more like I grew up like street smarts. I grew up poor, and I had to survive. So it's it's interesting, but yeah, I don't really read much.
Well, I think you're smart enough, Mr. Tesla. I think you're smart enough. You're doing good.
Big grin. Love it.
Okay, has Ryan ever spied on his neighbors? I'm just going to say yes because I feel like you must have.
I'm going to say yes because that's in his blood.
Yeah.
Wow. So that means Heather's done it too. I wouldn't say like spied per se, but like I've kept an eye on some neighbors. Like, I mean, like, what are we talking about? Like going up and peering in their windows like this because like I'm not. No, I have never done that. If
that were the
not
case,
once.
I would say no. But looking in and going, hey, what's?
If it's like doing one of these every now and again to see what they're up to, then yes, for sure, I've done that.
Everybody's done that. Yeah. But like, no, I actually have to make a conscientious effort. Like if sometimes I go for walks at night, I like to walk, and it's always astounding to me how many people do not have curtains on their windows.
Yeah.
And they're in there doing stuff or watching TV. And I'm always like, do not look in their windows. You are not a peeping Tom. I desperately want to look in and see what's going on, but I stop myself. I'm like, don't do it.
Is that weird? Like, I like to see what the inside of people's houses look like. There's some neat looking houses. Yeah. Like, oh, I love the decorations in that house. Oh, he's murdering his wife. Carry on with my walk here.
Sometimes I'm like, oh, I like that show too. Let me stop and watch for a little while. Oh, I remember this part.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well, just remember, if it's at night, then they can't really see you, but you can see them.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
If they've got their like stuff open, dude, you know what the most awkward? Like, I took the kids out trick or treating
Okay.
one Halloween, and so we were coming up to this house, and the curtains were open, which was like, okay, cool. And the guy's sitting there watching a movie, and just as we're like walking past, like, I forget what movie it was, some action movie, but like we were walking past the window during like a graphic sex scene, and I was like, well, this is awkward. Like, maybe don't watch that movie while kids are out,
Yeah.
like trick or treating.
Or just close your curtains. I don't get it. I feel very uncomfortable if I'm in a house at night with the curtains open and I can't see what's out there. I hate that so much.
Yeah. No, I feel like, yeah, like an animal in a zoo.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good description.
Right. Yeah. Ours, like, as soon as like dusk hits, we're like
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good practice. All right. Has Ryan ever spent more than 1 week in a hospital? I don't think so.
I don't know, but his middle name is, Klutz. So just kidding, but not really.
I mean, that's accurate.
Yeah, because I mean, this, I'm going off of back in the day, though. I don't know what's going on now, but
Still accurate.
okay. Well, perfect. I'm surprised I'm surprised he's still alive, Earl. You know what? I'll have to say no.
And the answer is?
What's your guess, Heather? You haven't even guessed yet.
I said no. I said I don't think so. No.
Oh, yeah, no, I have never spent a week in a hospital.
Nice.
That is, I've never injured myself that bad. So,
hey, good for you, man. Good for you.
I did I think it was like 2008 or something like that. I was in the hospital for like 12 days.
Oh, damn! What happened? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh yeah, I was in I was on tour with Sonny. You know him as Skrillex, I guess, but I was on tour with him, and then I just got really sick. Like, I kept sleeping, and I couldn't really work anymore. And anyway, long story, they sent me home, and then my brother had to deal with me. And after a couple of days, like, I was so like out of it. Like, I couldn't feel the right side of my face, the left side of my body. I couldn't go to the bathroom. When I was talking, there was like jumbling and all this stuff. But I thought I was going, yo, man, I'm fine. I'm cool. But my brother was like, you're talking like you're like, like I was not talking. It was crazy. So I went to the hospital and long, short story, they figured it out, but it was this thing called ADEM. It's ADEM. And it basically 6 people a year get reported to have it. And it's when your immune system, it's like an autoimmune thing where your immune system your body starts fighting against itself. And it's so random. But I had spinal meningitis when I was a kid, and that kind of had a thing to do with it. It's just timing. But they're like, you could have been struck by lightning like 10 times in a row before you ever would have gotten ADEM. And
wow.
All these neurologists flew in and did all this tests and stuff. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, this is cool because the bill is going to be outrageous. And they actually waived it because I was a study.
Holy crap. Hey, well, that's the way you should have an incredibly rare disease then.
Right?
Did they give you a cure, or like, how'd you get out of it? Like, how'd you get better?
Well, this guy, he's fucking awesome. And he was like a Doogie Howser. He's like my age. I was like 25, 26, or maybe he's younger. And he's like, when I came in, I put that was the first thing I put on the board, and everybody laughed. Like, yeah, right. That's not it won't be that way. And sure enough, after all the, 12 days of tests and all that stuff, it came back, and that's what they said it would be. And they literally are like, look, you're going to get put on steroids for about 5 days. And I'm like, sweet, I get to get buff. This is fucking rad. And they're like, it's not, you're not going to like this. But you at all. I didn't either. I swelled up, like my whole body swelled up like afterwards, and I couldn't move because everything was it hurt so bad. But they said after that, it'll never come back again. Like, no, there's no chance.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. Woo!
Dang, that's wild.
I guess you could say it wasn't the kind of swole you were looking for.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, that hurt.
All right, who is the next victim? Eli, you may choose.
Yeah, I'll throw myself under the bus.
Sweet.
Ladies will go last this time.
All right. Can Eli swallow multiple pills at once? I think so. I say yes.
Yes, but I have a cool trick. If it's the ones the ones that kind of like they have they float. That's all I can say is that they float.
Uh-huh.
If you put water in your mouth and then put them in your mouth and then you literally dip your head down like that and you swallow, it will just go right down. You don't have to worry about it getting stuck in your mouth.
Good to know.
So the way that I do like vitamins and stuff is like I put the water in first and then take my pills, but I just like slam my head back and it just rushes down. And apparently it's weird to put like the liquid in your mouth first.
No,
that's what I do.
That's how I do it too. Yeah.
I heard it was weird to do that too. It's like, why are you putting water in your mouth? I was like, because I don't want to taste it.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Gotta get in that water and down my throat. That's it.
Does Eli like the smell of gasoline? I guess yes.
What kind of gasoline are we talking about?
I'm guessing the kind at the pump for the car.
Okay.
Let's go with that.
Well, I was going to guess yes, but since you're guessing yes, one of us has to win. I will go with no.
Why does one of us have to win?
Yeah, you guys can both win.
It's a game. Someone's got to win.
But love.
Yeah, actually, I do like the smell of gas, which is actually interesting.
I do too.
I mean,
Me too.
I don't like, it's just a nice little, it's just like, really? It's just a nice refresher for 5 minutes, and then you get out.
Like when I was 16, my dad ended up making a friend of a guy that had like a motocross track. So I started learning how to ride motorcycles. And so that's like where my affinity for the smell of gasoline came about, was from that. Like, because before that, I was indifferent to the smell, like gas was gas. Just reminded me more of like mowing lawns than it did anything else. But yeah.
All right. Has Eli ever done a keg stand?
Yes.
First of all, let me just clarify. Is that like when you go upside down? What is a keg stand? Let's just put it that way. What is that?
Where you go upside down on the keg.
Okay.
And they put a siphon in your mouth and then they like dump the beer or something like that, right?
That seems like a bad idea.
Is it though?
Okay.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, I think because he's a rock and roller, he's probably done it at least once. Wait, but you said yes, so I have to say no? Is that how we're playing this?
We could both guess yes, if you want.
Excellent. Do tell.
Oh, so you both guess yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, no, never did it.
Damn it! Oh. See, I just threw you under the bus.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too because so many people say that like I maybe smoked pot like 3 times in my life or something like that, and I've never tried drugs aside. Long story. When I was a little kid, my mom gave me LSD. Not a big deal, whatever. Okay. But in my adult life, I never did. But people were like, "Oh shit, you're a rock star. 1, you look like it. 2, you're a rock star. So of course you're a heroin addict." Yeah, never did it. I don't like beer.
Me neither.
I like girly beer.
Do you like?
I like margaritas.
Do you like wine? Eli, do you like wine?
I do not. No.
Man.
Oh, I do not. No wine and then no beer. I can't do it.
I am so happy to have finally met somebody that does not like beer. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
It's just not good. It's not good.
It's like just cold pee with bubbles.
Yes, it is. That is how it should be defined in the dictionary right there.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Hey, but to be fair, I do like the quote unquote foofy drinks too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Slurpee with alcohol.
Yeah. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, you can't make fun of somebody for liking the taste of those drinks because they taste delightful.
Yeah.
And
Hey, you can make fun of me all you want. I just like her. I don't give a shit.
Agreed. Does Eli know his mom's age?
yes.
I think he does. I'd say he does.
Okay. I literally don't know. I have no idea.
Good, because I don't know my mom's age either. I don't know it.
Neither do I.
I don't. Well, I don't know her age. I just she went on the wrong side of the tracks when we grew up, and my dad was on the other side, and so we went the other way. And my mom went one way. So
Okay.
she literally she was pretty much the godfather of an all-woman state prison, in and out of prison, manufacturing major drugs.
Oh,
she was on, she was she was kind of trouble. But I kind of disassociated myself with her in like 99 or something like that.
Oh,
okay.
Gotcha.
All right. So fine. Fair enough. You have a good excuse. I have no good excuse because I talked to my mom yesterday. So I think I should. It's just one of those things I never can remember. And I can never remember Dad's age either.
All I know is they're both in their 70s at this point.
That's all I know.
Yeah.
One of these days I'll remember somehow. Okay. Love you, Mom and Dad. All right. Ready for your last question, Eli?
I am. Yes. Let's rock and roll.
Has Eli ever ridden in a helicopter? I'm
Yes.
just going to go yes. I think it's yes.
Yeah, I think I did when I was in elementary school.
Was it like a helicopter ride at the fair or something like that?
No, at our school, they put us on a Navy, the two propeller things,
cool.
and lifted us up and just brought us down. Like, yay, that was really rad. And then we're like, yay. So yes, I have.
Nice. Well,
very professional.
I was not keeping score during that, but I feel like we tied.
You won. No, you won.
Okay.
I did not get a single one right except for that last one, which I think it would be fair to say that Eli knows me better than I know him, and I feel terrible.
Yeah, what the heck, bro?
That makes Eli the winner. Unless you guys want to, unless I should sit in the victim's seat. Do you want to?
Yeah, you should sit in the victim's seat. And because Earl knows, he should ask the question.
Okay, I'll hold it up to you.
Okay.
Can you read it?
Can Heather name 3 properties in Monopoly? Absolutely. Who can't?
Yeah.
Okay, I can, and I will, I think. Park Place, Boardwalk, B&O Railroad.
Bam. Nailed it.
There we go.
Sweet, we were right.
Love Monopoly. We played hooky all summer one time. I think I told that story already. And all we did was play Monopoly. We could have been robbing liquor stores and graffitiing. No, we were like, Monopoly's where it's at. That's what we'll do while we miss class.
Nerd.
I know. Ryan.
Does Heather know how to play golf? I already know the answer to this one.
Okay, know how to play and have, just fun golf experience is 2 different things.
That is true. And that is a fair question. So which one are we going with? Let's clarify this. Between you and me, Eli, which one are we going with? Does she know how to play it just for fun? To have a good experience? Let's go with that one.
We could go with that one.
Yeah, let's go with that one. I mean, that one's easy because who doesn't know how?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to say yes, whether you're good or bad.
Okay, well, Eli wins. I do know how to play golf, and I have played golf. And the first time I ever played golf, I played with you the first time I ever played, you and Dad. And I got one of the holes. We did a 9-hole course, and I didn't do a great job, but I got one of them on par. First time ever golfing. So I'm not that bad.
I have no recollection of this whatsoever. And I
That's because Dad was so proud of me that you probably shadowed the incident in your mind because he wasn't proud of you.
That may be true.
I'm pretty sure a golf club went flying a few times when we played with you. You just hit the ball, not the club. The ball goes. The club stays with you.
You just took the golf cart and went back to the car.
Has Heather ever traveled by Greyhound?
I'm going to say yes.
She has.
I mean,
yeah, I have. It was completely uneventful. I went from LA to Salem, Oregon, and then back. Nothing exciting happened. I wish I had a good Greyhound story, but I don't.
oh man, I've done those I've done those up to Seattle and back so many times, and then also to Arizona. Oh man, I'm glad I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
For real.
I mean, it's not very comfortable. You can't, it's like you want to sleep, but you can't. I can't sleep sitting up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ryan can sleep anywhere under any circumstance.
That's how I make those trips go so much faster is I just go to sleep.
I'm pretty sure if Ryan caught on fire, he could sleep through it. Like, we should try.
Well,
It's a cool skill.
I have caught myself on fire many times by the nature of my job.
Hmm.
And I've never been asleep for any of them.
Yes, I know. I was going to say, when you were sleeping at your job and then you caught yourself on fire. Somebody needs to fire Ryan. No, I'm kidding. Okay. That was a bad joke.
All right. Does Heather prefer dark chocolate over milk chocolate?
I'm going to say no.
I want to say no, too.
Correct. I prefer milk chocolate. I know, like, as a grown-up, I'm supposed to prefer dark chocolate. I can't do it. I don't prefer it.
I don't know who told you that, but that's not true.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
You know why? Because all of my, like, I have a couple of just, like, posh friends that drink wine and are stylish, and they're like, oh, dark chocolate's so much better. And I'm like, I know, yeah.
I will drink box wine with milk chocolate. Watch me.
I will, too. Well, except for the box wine.
Did Heather fail their driving test the first time?
I'm going to, wait. Written?
Yeah, that is a good question.
Well, it says driving test. The driving.
Oh, the driving test.
I'm going to say, I want to say yes, but I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no because I'm pretty sure she failed the written test the first time, but passed the actual driving test the first time.
That is correct. I failed the written test the first time, and I left the DMV sobbing.
Okay.
And then I passed that the second time.
Eli was so concerned.
Okay.
People, I garnered a lot of sympathy for that. People were just looking at me like, poor kid. She failed her driving. Well, and then I passed the driving test the first time. I should have failed it because he threw parallel parking at me, which I was not expecting. It did not go well. I pulled into the wrong lane. I didn't check my mirrors. He was just checking off like X, X, X. I was like, oh God, I'm going to fail this crap. And as we were driving back to the DMV, there was this car in front of us with a really unusual license plate. And for some reason, I always notice license plates on cars. So I remarked upon the license plate and he's like, you noticed it. I was just looking at that. That is a bloody. I do not remember what this thing was. He knew all about this license plate and it's a da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, blah, blah, blah. And he went on this whole thing. And I was just like, wow, that is so cool. Yeah. I always notice license plates. And he was so happy that I noticed the license plate that he passed me on my driving test.
Wow.
Oh boy, that's the only reason why?
That's the only reason why. We've already talked about how I hit curbs and tiny nicks. It's fine. I hit things, whatever.
I failed my driving test, and it was because I went through the whole test, and when we got back to the DMV, I was pulling into the parking lot, and so there's oncoming traffic, and this truck started coming so I started to turn and then the truck kind of came out of nowhere and then started to go and then I stopped and then he stopped. And so I was like, okay, so I was waiting for him to go because that's what you're supposed to do. And he just waited there. So I started to go, then he started to go. So I stopped and he stopped. And so then I was sitting there waiting for him to go and then he waves me in. So then I go. And so we get back. And so I'm waiting outside. For whatever reason, I waited outside. Dad and the guy went in and then Dad comes out and he says, hey, so just so you know, you failed your driving test. And I was like, what? Why? And he was like, for creating an unsafe situation when you were coming back into the parking lot. And I was like, he failed me for that? Like, I did what I was supposed to do and I stopped. And the only reason I went was told me to go. But anyway, so yeah, failed the first time.
That's a bum deal. What about you?
I think I passed both on the first one time around, but the scary part is when you redo your driver's test, because I failed twice on the written test, and it was the third time, and after the third time you don't get your driver's license no matter what.
Really?
In California, and they updated some stuff. Anyway, I was like, dang, and literally this guy was looking at me, and I would have failed, but he's like, okay, he asked me one question, and I was like, I looked and I saw that what I put, and I'm like, no, blah 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 or whatever. I meant to do A instead of B, and he goes, okay, pass. And I'm like, shit.
I forgot about that. Yeah, they make you retake the written test in California. But when I moved to New York, they just gave me a new license. I didn't have to do any tests, which was cool. Well, guys, that's all I had pre-planned for this episode. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show, Eli. Really super appreciate it. You guys can get some awesome apparel, ghostcircusapparel.com. I will put it in the show notes, a link so that anybody can go check it out. And what we usually end our episode with is we like to leave a little bit of advice. It could be actual useful advice, useless advice, or comical. But we always like to let our guests, if they have any advice they'd like to give, you may feel free.
Pull out and double wrap.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There was such a lag there that I was like, I felt like I was a comedian.